can be debated what the most important aspect of the field of library and information science, LIS, is. Two thoughts will be debated here. My theory is that libraries serve as a social institution for cultural change.
And I believe that information systems serve as a means of human communication.
I will begin with my point. I believe that the most important aspect of library and information science is that libraries serve as a social institution for cultural change. The purpose of libraries is to be an element of society that serves as a conduit for cultural and social change. The main aspects of change are the accumulated social knowledge of humankind that exists in the library collection, as well as with the people who use that social knowledge. When people access organized social knowledge to conduct their lives, the knowledge is transferred to them. This transfer takes place by the act of reading. It could be called education or socialization. The process helps solve both personal and societal problems and produces new knowledge. The library is more significant than any other social institution because it provides a systematic transfer of knowledge on a societal scale. Libraries as a social organization serve the enormous and complex task of production of innovative ideas that every society needs to flourish.
I will now present my point. The most important aspect of LIS is that information systems exist to serve as a means of human communication. These systems exist whenever documents are sought and retrieved in response to the inquiries initiated by individuals. This aspect of LIS is from a quite generalized theoretical context and not a focus on the narrow context of libraries. The basic components include an origination point of the information, sender, and a destination point, receiver, and that information can be divisible into discrete, standardized units, often called bits or bytes. Information systems communication also has an essential component of controllable information flow. This process includes the creation and growth of documents in society, information flow in public and private agencies, and between members of a discipline, profession, or specialty group. Information systems have facilitated a complex world of creation and experimentation of information retrieval.
There are a number of problems with your point that information systems serving as a means of human communication is more essential to LIS than libraries as a social institution. While a librarian can help an information seeker with limited information, a person using an information system to locate information must provide a relatively precise information request in order for the system to function. This level of precision is often unrealistic, deeming the system unusable and not as important to LIS as a librarian in a library is. Similarly, information systems require a linear, logical process. Depending on the information being sought, linear/logical input is not always available to obtain needed information output. A human librarian may be needed to obtain results from often obtuse information. Finally, information systems are lacking a social perspective, instead focusing on the process of information movement. There is no focus on the social context of the individual user or on the social context of the system itself. Without social context, information received may provide inaccurate results. This is definitely not an outcome anyone in the LIS field would desire. Information systems are not nearly as important to LIS as libraries as a social institution are.
To say that the most important aspect of LIS is that libraries serve as a social institution for cultural change is inherently flawed. This is because there is no basis to claim that a library is a social institution that causes cultural change. First, it is an oversimplification to say that by virtue of reading, people are able to solve social problems. There is no simple cause-effect relationship between the content of a document and the mind of a reader. The process of social and cultural change is much more complex in nature. Second, since the process of social and cultural change cannot be directly linked to reading books from a library, it follows that there is no basis to generalize that the library is an important entity for cultural change. Clearly, human communication through information systems is much more critical and global to the field of LIS.
Two points of view have been expressed as to the most important aspect of the field of library and information science.
Based on what has been presented, which point of view do you agree with?